Yeah. Now this is fun? Yeah? Okay. My name is the bodybuilding practitioner, A.K.A. the genius. Okay. And what I want to do is bicep exercise strictly for beginners, and I want to better explain the preacher curl division. So what we're going to do is we're going to find our 8 rep range, and we're going to do a muscle flex repetition at the end of it. We're gonna do 5 sets, and in between sets I'm going to be better explaining the preacher curl division with illustrations. Okay. So we find our weight. This weight is it's a 5-pound weight. It's just for demonstration purposes only, because my gym is not open yet. So here we go. So we'll find our 8 rep range, okay, with the weight that's comfortable, and we'll do 8 reps, and we'll do a 5, 10 to 15 minute muscle flex repetition at the end of our reps. With the muscle flex repetition, we usually start at the top, and for this one, we're just going to do full range starting at the bottom. Okay, so we'll start at the bottom position, and we'll bring it to the top, and we're going to do 8 repetitions. Okay, and with each repetition, you hold it for 1 second. Okay, so yeah, and make sure you bring the elbow underneath the weight, and you give a good strong contraction of the muscle, and then you bring it back down. Slower than your than the lift, because in a preacher curl division, what we're doing is we're lifting the weight. We're bringing the weight from point A to point B, and we're lifting. Okay, so here we go. We'll get our 8 reps. And we hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we bring it back down. Okay, that's our first set. The muscle flex repetitions, I like to do them for 15 seconds. Okay, so while we're resting, once we find a moderate weight, our rest period can be from about 1 minute or so. And this is preacher curl division. I'd like to show this. So with the preacher curl division, we have our 3 divisions. In the first division, we have our rep range. We have 3, 5, 8 to 12 reps. In the first division, we have a higher rep range because it's harder to fatigue the first division of the range of motion. So we do higher reps. Okay, and then we move to the second division. The second division, we're moving farther away from the top of the movement, muscle flex repetition. So there, we're gonna do less because now we've already fatigued in the first. So now in the second, our rep range can be anywhere as less as 1, 3, to 5, to 8 reps. We can do 1 rep, just make sure that we don't skip this division, because it can become pretty challenging. If you really push yourself, it can become pretty challenging. Okay, and then always in the third division, it's always 5 reps. So we're trying to fatigue in the first and second. To the third division, we're trying to really fatigue and do full range, and really will make the weight more challenging, so we can we'll maximize our results and make the weight more challenging. So this is just the illustration. We have our dumbbell, and we have the movement, and of course the divisions. Okay, it's all labeled. Okay. So now we'll go to our second, and now we'll do, again, 8 reps, muscle flex repetition at the end, starting at the bottom. And you have to find your own weight. For us beginners, our weights are very light, so that muscle flex repetition is really going to help make the workout more challenging, and of course increasing time under tension. And actually in that first set, I forgot to hold at the bottom of the set of the reps, and that's time under tension for the set. Muscle flex repetition is individual rep time under tension, and holding at the bottom of the rep of the set, that's increasing time under tension for the set. So we're gonna do it properly now. Okay. So we do our reps. A good strong pause at the top, and we'll do 8. Muscle flex repetition. 13, 14, 15. We bring it down, and we hold at the bottom for 5, 10 to 15 seconds. I always like doing everything for 15 seconds. On muscle flex repetitions, for the muscle flex rep, and then at the end of my set, I like holding as well as for 15 seconds. So, okay, and of course with the more challenging weight. This one's only 5 pounds. This is just for demonstration purposes. Okay, so we'll get into the preacher crow division. Better explain that. We have our first division. Okay, we have our first division. That's from the top of the range of motion to the middle. So we have chopped the range of motion. So here we go. So yeah, it's just showing that we chopped the range of motion and our rep range. We have 3, 5, 8 to 12. You have to choose your rep range. So that's gonna be your job. You have to find a weight challenging enough so you can struggle with the 5 rep range at the third division. So this is the first one, and this is where so you have to choose yourself which rep range you will do to make that third rep as challenging as possible. So yeah, so we just have some notes here. We have you're at the strongest at the first movement, the first division, from the top to the middle, and we're trying to make lightweight heavier than it is, to work harder, and we're working on muscular endurance so we can eventually move up to heavier weights. So that's the first division. All right. So we'll move to our third set with our 8 rep range from bottom to the top with the muscle flex repetition. Okay. Okay, we did our 8 reps. We're going to muscle flex repetition. Let's see. A 15-second muscle flex repetition. We'll bring it down slowly, and then that was the time under tension. Now we'll do our set time under tension. I always like to do mine 15 seconds, but you can choose 5, 10 to 15. I always do all mine 15. But just not to put the weight down once you finish with your set. That's the purpose, is keep that time under tension, keep that sensation on the muscle. Okay, we do 15, and we put it away once we finish with our time under tension for the set. Okay, we're at our second division from the bottom to the middle. Okay, and our rep range is always going to be 1, 3 to 5, even to 8 reps, depending on the weight you choose. But that 1 rep is just make sure you don't skip that division. Okay, and in this division, we're getting farther away from the muscle flex repetition, the top of the movement. So it's gonna become more challenging since we already fatigued in the first division. So yeah, we just have our notes here. Bring the weight from the bottom to the middle of the division. And then when at this moment, yes, it'll become more challenging because yeah, we already worked in the first division. So yeah, here we go. We can see that. Okay, very good. We have our illustration right there. Okay, very good. So this is our third. This is our third set. With the weight that's challenging, of course. And we find our 8 reps. Okay, here we go. Muscle flex repetition. For me, it's always 15. You can always choose 5 or 10.
Number 2, we're going to see the...
Let me bring it down. Stop it. Alright. So, and then at the bottom of the rep, we're going to hold it, and I always like to hold it for 15 seconds. With the challenging weight, of course. This is just demonstration purposes, and we'll just hold it for now. So, yeah. Okay, once we get our 15, we can throw it. Now we're at the third division, and from here it's always a full range. So it's always from bottom to top. There's no chop in the movement. We bring it all the way. It's always 5, never changing. So yeah, so in this division, what we're doing is we're fatiguing in the other divisions before it to make that movement as challenging as possible. Because without the division, we would just go and start our exercise with full range, and we're so fresh, so the weight's not very challenging. What we're doing is we're trying to make lightweight very much heavier, and what we got to do is find the weight and our rep range that will make this 5 reps as challenging as possible. So that's what we're trying to do. So that's the work on you. You have to find the weight, you have to find the reps in each division, and so you can make those 5 reps as hard as possible. And that's the third division. Okay. We're on to our 4th set. Here we go. 8 reps, full range, top to bottom. Here we go. Okay, 8th rep, muscle flex repetition, 15 for me. Bring it down slow, 15 at the bottom. Okay. And this is lightweight. This is challenging. Even I'm getting a workout from it. If I move up in weight, I'm really going to be building after that. Using the muscle flex repetition, of course, as well. Right now we're just doing regular reps, but of course including the muscle flex repetition, individual rep time and retention, and our holding at the bottom, that's for the set time and retention. And then with adding the total of 5 sets, that's including for your whole workout. And your biceps going to be very tight. So I'd say 5 reps is enough, but if you want to keep going after that, then you can always add more sets depending on how you feel. I feel that 5 is perfect. The last time I did this with actual my weights, challenging, my bicep was ready to explode. Here we go. We have our muscle flex illustration. This is our muscle flex. Our starting position. We have our lower the weight downwards from the top position to the middle. That's for the preacher curl division, and then we always hold the muscle flex repetition. That's your preference from 5, 10 to 15 seconds, and then you go into the preacher curl division or full range of motion like we're doing right now. This is just the illustration for that one. Hopefully we can see that good. And then this is the muscle flex repetition, and then we have another one. And then we just have our, what we have here is our time under tension for each set. And this is just an illustration showing that you will hold the weight at the bottom for your choice of 5, 10 to 15 seconds, and then you can let it go. So you can really get that lactic acid building up and really increase time under tension for the muscle. And of course our last set, even with 5 weights, a 5-pound weight, this is a very challenging exercise. So once you move up in weight, it's going to become very challenging with that muscle flex repetition.